It is Friday. It is Friday. What is going on, fellas? Hey, this is Brian, aka Uncle B. This is Goodwood University office hours. We are going to get into it today. Today we're talking about what every guy needs to understand and just deal with. That's how to get harder erections naturally. A lot of times we end up thinking about those gas station pills, going in and getting those that Viagra. I've actually talked to guys who are all about that penile implant life. Not a good look. Good look. So we're going to talk about some things you can do that rather easy, but they're necessary, they're successful, it actually works. So if you could go ahead into the comment section, leave where you're from, we where you're representing, and your name, so we can have a good conversation here. This is what we do every day. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm able to hop on with you guys to not only give you some information, but also not only give you information, but also answer your questions. So you got questions, let me know, and we will get into it. All right. So hold on one second. Just do a little thing here. All right. So yeah, go ahead, hit me up in the comment section, please. So let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Today we're talking about how to get those harder erections naturally. If you're worried about this is a huge thing for a lot of guys. Because as you get older, you have some issues, things are going on. You get to a point where you're not functioning correctly. And so we need to cover that right now. So I'm going to give you 5 straight up tips, actually a little bit more than that, that are going to work. This, how do I know this is going to work? Well, one, I've been doing this for the past 23 years, talking through 2000s of guys, coaching more guys, understanding this and living life, but also it's the main thing. Yeah, we have too many success stories for it to not be working. And also, you just happen to have a human body. And with that human body, that means you work. You work the same way the past thousands of human bodies have worked. And so, we can definitely predict that if you do these things, it's going to work out for you. That's the way this goes. All right, Trinidad and Tobago in the house. Yeah, Fort Lauderdale, Seattle. What's going on? Antonio, Sylvester, Salah. Am I saying that correct? Trinidad and Tobago. So let's go ahead and talk about that sugar. All right. And this is a huge one because a lot of times, well, sugar's addictive. Sugar is, that same spot in your brain that goes off with cocaine and sex. That's where sugar lands. And so we have to be very careful about that because, the World Health Organization, which recently lowered this number, they used to say only need 21 to 23 grams of sugar per day. Now they lowered it down to much lower than that. I think that I read 5 at one point. I'm not sure exactly where it is right now, but just think about it. One glass of orange juice is 23 grams. So that OJ first thing in the morning, everybody will say, get that OJ. That OJ is messing you up. All right. So be aware of that. Or any other drink, apple juice, all the different, if it tastes really sweet, it is. Forget whether saccharose, all this other kind of different things that they have in there. Is going to lower your testosterone. That's the reason why it's so important that you understand how sugar can can mess you up. When you talk about sugar in the tank, just we talking about just not, it messes you up. Let's just say that. J10H, what's going on? London in the house. Uh-huh. New York City in the house. All right, what's going on, Timbo? Sweet sugar lower Timbo. All right. So another thing to consider when you are younger, you know, testosterone lowers your I'm sorry, sugar lowers your testosterone by a good half an hour. And when you're younger, it's about a half an hour. The older you get, the more issues you have. If you have lower testosterone to begin with, it's going to cause even more damage. And that's because, of course, as you get older, your testosterone level gets lower, typically 1% per year, if you allow that. And that's the natural progression that would happen. If you're actually doing other things that we're going to talk about, along with consuming sugar on a regular basis, is going to go down faster. And so sugar is just going to pound your testosterone levels. And of course, the bursting and burning of testosterone is what fuels an erection. So you need those testosterone. So what's the other thing that will mess you up? Your sleep. This is very important because, typically I'm talking to guys, it's like, how much sleep are you getting? They'll say, oh, I'm getting 5, 6 hours of sleep. If you're having erection issues, that's not enough. You need to up that. And we're talking about high quality sleep. I'll give you some suggestions right quick. But if you're trying to get to those harder erections, you have to change your daily habits. You're going to sleep every day, hopefully. You're going to sleep every day, and you need that high quality of sleep. Why? Because your testosterone builds while you're asleep. And in fact, you also have 4 to 5 erections every night during just a normal cycle. You don't get enough sleep, you're not going to get your normal sleep cycle of your erections, that blood flow that just naturally happens. So here's some quick tips. First of all, make sure the room is very dark, as dark as you can get it. I have a sleep mask that I wear because living in the city center, so I got light that's coming through the window all the time. And if you can get those blackout shades and all that other kind of stuff, do what you got to do. The most important thing for your health is literally your sleep. And so also you want to turn off electronics 2 hours beforehand. The lights, I got a whole bunch of lights here, but the light that's coming from your electronics, it actually mimics it's blue light. And so it's actually telling your brain, stay awake. So you're not getting that high quality of sleep. I know I talk about this a lot because it's really important, and people, including myself, have a hard time going to sleep. And also you want to keep the room cool. And just think of it this way: as the earth is getting cooler, as the earth is getting cooler, as the sun is going down, the earth is getting cooler. So all the things, our rhythm is set up by the sunlight. That's been happening for hundreds of thousands of years. It's only in the past 50 to 100 years that we've had this changed so dramatically because of the lights. And people used to go to sleep, at 12 o'clock, not have their TVs on constantly and everything else. Also, a great way to get yourself cool is to actually take a shower. Yeah, you take a shower. You take a warm shower is actually bringing all the warmth to your away from your core to your skin. To cool you off. So that helps out a lot. And you have to just be consistent with your sleep. I get it. You get around Friday or Saturday, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be out. Nah, all the time, all the time. If you want, one of the reasons why you may be out is to, find a young lady, or to romance the one you got. But hey, if you're messing up your sleep, you may not be able to do that romance. So let's stick with it. So also, alcohol. Woo! I know this hurts. It hurt me. Alcohol is a poison that just happens to make you feel woozy. Especially if you're going to mix it in with the sugary drinks, with the sugar. That's going to have a more dramatic effect as well. Uh-huh. What's going on? Shansi? Li in his in the house. Pedro is here. All right. Um, Dame, sleep is my only problem. I get 4 to 5 hours of sleep 6 days a week. Woo, man. Yeah, I understand that. I feel your pain. Yeah, because I go through that too. And one of the things I talk about a lot, because as I'm coaching guys, talking with guys, what they'll say is, I ask them if they're stressed, and they say they're not stressed. I ask them how they're sleeping, and they say their sleep is off. It's like, well, something's going on there. Typically, what we as men do, we'll compartmentalize our stress. So we think we're not stressed, but our brain is still like, yeah, you remember that thing that you're supposed to do, that you got to pay, et cetera, et cetera. We're still thinking about that, and it affects our sleep. So meditation is a great way to set yourself up for sleep. There's a lot of other things that can help with that also. And also, getting back to the alcohol, when you're drinking that alcohol, yeah, you're messing up your testosterone production. So if you're going to drink alcohol, then go to sleep, your body has to deal with that poison first. So it's not producing more testosterone. So you're gonna wake up not only with a hangover, with bad sleep and lower testosterone. And basically, if your brain isn't feeling well, everything else is getting shut off. So that little hangover, especially if you add sugar to the alcohol, that hangover is affecting your alcohol. So is affecting your testosterone production. Uh, so yeah, you want to have that in check. All right. Uh-huh. All right. Sylvester says, Uncle B, man, you're on point with this information. It's helpful. I'm glad, man. This is what I'm here for. Uh-huh. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this question by my man from UK, J10H in the house. Unc, how much sleep should I get? should I aim to get? I can sleep for 8 if I want, but I usually wake up after 6 hours. I'm 31. Yeah, yeah, you need to keep on going, especially if you're having issues. Now, let me there's a caveat to this. There is, and I'm going to actually do I'll go ahead and bring this research up to you guys. I'm going to do a show on this one. What ends up happening is that everyone's sleep pattern is different. So you have your own different clock. For me, if I get to 8 hours, something happened the day before. It's hard for me to get to 8 hours of sleep. I will wake up at 6. But what I've learned to do is actually I'll wake up after that 6 hours, I will start meditating. And and sometimes that'll just put me right to sleep. And it's actually sort of funny. I'll actually, it's hard to tell whether or not I went back to sleep or not. It's like, you know, all the way up until it's like my eyes open. I'm just like, oh, did I fall back to sleep? So it can work. You do want to get as much sleep as possible. If you look at professional athletes, a LeBron James, a Serena Williams, they actually sleep for 10 hours, 10 to 11 hours. That's how powerful sleep is. One athlete actually said, if sleep was a drug, it'd be banned because it's that powerful. So you want to definitely get as much as you can. Uh huh. All right. Scott Akai, I'm going to get you to in a second, sir. Great question. Stephen Mass 21, Texas in the house. All right. So let's talk about lifting weights. Lifting heavy weights is great for building up your testosterone. The thing is to make sure you're doing it correctly, doing it with correct form to not injure yourself. I've gone through injuries, knee injury, shoulder injury, and it messes up your whole process. And a huge part of lifting heavy is sleeping because your body does all of its repair and and it's producing that testosterone. So basically, when you're lifting heavy, you're tearing your muscles, you're letting your hypertrophy. Yeah, hypertrophy. You're letting your muscles know, like, hey, we need to grow. We need to get stronger. There's a reason why I picked this up because we gotta go get food, or there's a woman over there, or whatever it is while you're asleep, that's when it all happens. So, I know guys will go to the gym, they'll pump, and they'll just go straight to the mirror and like, oh, look what I did. It really doesn't show up till the next day. Uh, so yeah, lifting heavy and then getting that sleep in is dialing up that testosterone that you need for bigger muscles and also for your erections. Um, so, yep. Also, just a quick note on steady state cardio. Steady state cardio, I'm not against any movement, any exercise you want to do, go for it, but just understand what your goal is. If you're doing steady state cardio, doing too much of it, you're actually increasing your cortisol levels. Therefore, cortisol and testosterone are at odds with each other. That's the reason why you don't see a guy in a fight with a heart on. Cortisol levels is up. You're in a stress, fight or flight. Fighting and with an erection is weird, so that shouldn't be happening. So yeah, uh, I've talked to guys who like, they'll say like, yeah, I jog like 4 days a week, but I have erection issues. It's because you're jogging 4 days a week. Um, it may not be the number one cause of it, but yeah, some guys who run, they don't have a problem. If you're having a problem, that's one thing to look at. All right. Mm-hmm. What's going on, Mario? Ah, great question. We're going to talk about that in a second. Meditation. We have too much going on, guys. Too much going on. There's too many lights and bloops and bleeps and being interrupted. And I got a phone call. It happens all the time, every day, and it's causing problems. Human brains were not developed for what we're doing right now. That whole thing of like, being able to focus on several different things at the same time. They tell us that, yeah, you're supposed to be able to multitask. We're not designed for multi. We can do certain things, but up to a point, it's just like your brain, just like I have to reset. But we're constantly doing it all the time now, and so you have to. Your brain is doing like this. This is the brain wave. It's doing like that. We need for it to calm down. That's when you actually have better thought processes. Your body's going through a healing thought process. I mean, one of the things you have to think about, if you look at Oprah Winfrey, very powerful people. This is what they do. They'll actually have sessions with their vice president, CEOs, or whoever, is like, hey, come on into the meeting before we start, 5 minutes meditation. Apparently it works. So if it's working for them, I would suggest you do it too. Because when we're getting all that stress going on, it is messing with our brains. Our cortisol levels are going up. So you could be doing everything else right. And I've talked to guys who do everything else right. They're eating right, sleeping right, doing all this other kind of stuff, but they're stressed out of their minds and nothing is, they're not getting the gains they're looking for. They're not getting erections, all of that stuff. The fastest way to lower that cortisol is to meditate. Also, while you're meditating, you're doing deep breaths. And so that's going to increase your oxygen intake. Just think about it. Anytime someone says, "Hey, man, calm down, breathe." That's the first thing they say is breathe. So you want to do that. Um, and they actually had they've done experiments in prison. They've done it with children in prison. They had guys just sit there and meditate. The violence rate in the prisons went down. They had children just do the meditation. Their scores were better. All right, what's going on, Dev? CMOS and everything. Uh-huh. Hambo04. What's going on with you? Lloyd, what's going on with you? All right. Everybody got some great questions and thought processes in here. I love it. So also, part of this is all about habits. These five, I think it's six things I just said. All of this is about habits. You want this to be a normal part of your life. Everything I talk about is about patterns. We do sell supplements, but they're supposed to supplement the other things you do. And what ends up happening is that we get locked into certain things. We don't even think about it. I mean, that time that I got locked into for almost close to a decade of just, eating and drinking whatever I wanted to, not thinking about it because everyone else around me was also doing the exact same thing. And so you think this is just normal. Also, guys think that, okay, I hit a certain age, I'm supposed to not have erections. I'm supposed to be weak. No, no, that's not true. We've just been sort of trained that way. Your body is extremely resilient. It will bounce back from a lot of stuff if you take care of it. And the way you take care of it is by your patterns. And when I say your patterns, I mean for the rest of your life. There's some things that I used to do that I'm not going to do anymore. There are things I'm doing now that I'm not going to stop. Every morning I'm stretching. Every morning I'm doing some type of activity. I need to extend it into the evening to make things a little bit better for me. But it's always about that progression, about getting better. That's the reason why I appreciate everybody here on this call, because you're into that thought process of how do I get better? And one of the ways is being a part of a group of people, which is the reason why we have Goodwood University. Check out the link below so that you can get more information like this. Because what you want to do is get yourself into the habits that are good, that become normal. I always said that, guys, just imagine this. Imagine this. Imagine if you grew up in a situation where it was like every day people were just out exercising. This was just normal. People were eating all the right food, nothing packaged. Everything was grown in their own backyard. Went to sleep because there was no extra lights and also there's no level of stress. Just a normal, healthy life. This existed just good 150 years ago. The problem was everything else is messed up. So you didn't have all the information. You didn't have access to all the herbs that we do that you could order from China, from India, from South America, from America. All of this stuff, we have all these advantages, but we have to take all these advantages, the advantage of information. We have to take the advantage of information and apply it to our lives and stay there, because everything else is flipped upside down. All right. So that's the information I have for you on that. That is how you get to naturally healthy erections. So let's go ahead and talk, guys. What's going on with you, Lloyd? All right. All right. So I was talking about. Let me go down the list here. So Sky, how can I harden my wood during love sessions? How can I make her want me? Want me? Because the wood ain't working, then the mood won't be working. I understand that completely. So, we talked about that covers a few different things. So that we talked about losing your erections during sex, or getting to a point where you're not having the erections at all. So the first thing is spectatoring. Is what are you thinking about? Are you stressing yourself out? Once again, cortisol and testosterone don't mix. So if you're thinking that, hey, she came into the room, I should be hard. I was thinking about it, I should be hard. She's touching me, I should be hard. You're now doing a self-fulfilling prophecy of like questioning yourself. You don't need to question yourself. You need to do all the pattern stuff beforehand so you don't have to worry about it at all. And also, once again, we getting back to your pattern. If you're making love and you're losing your erections, it's like you do have to ask these questions. What did I eat beforehand? What did I eat or drink? What was my sleep like? What was my sleep like last night? Or that week? What's your stress like? Did you just eat? There are a lot of things that you can do. The whole goal is, once again, we talk about the sexual performance scale of 1 to 10. 10 means everything works. 1 means you need to go to the hospital. 5 to 7, where a lot of guys are just unreliable. The goal is to keep changing your patterns so you get up to the 8, 9, or 10, so you don't have to be so exacting about everything. When I was at a 5, if I did anything off, I had a drink 2 days before, problems. Now that I'm at a 9, I can get away with some things, but my pattern is strong enough. My supplementation game is strong enough that I don't have to worry about it as much. And that's a question for you, sir. What type of supplements are you also taking? Because if you're doing the right things, but you need to get to that next level, think about it this way: if you're eating any level of packaged foods, you have a ton of chemicals in there. You want to get the natural herbs that are going to help you. That's what you want to get into your system. That's the supplementation game right there. All right. Mm. All right, Sky. Uh, I've taken minoxidil for a few months after it felt like my Johnson was so weak. Can that be a factor? I'm in my 20s. Yes. Yes. I'm not saying that specifically for that particular drug, but the thing to understand, guys, is when you're taking medication, typically the medication is for whatever you're taking it for. That's the way that they work. The reason why I'm into herbal supplements is because herbs, or just eating better food, is going to fix dozens of things. Inside of your body, you eat a carrot is good for your eyes. It's good for beta carotene. Is a bunch of things that is good for, not just your eyes. So, but when you're taking medication, typically it's like, well, okay, I have whatever issue is. I'm taking this for my prostate. It's like, okay, we're cool. We're going to take care of your prostate. Now, if we jack up your testosterone, that's on you. But in the meantime, we're going to take care of your prostate. That's when you run into problems. So I would say definitely just hop online, look it up, and see if that did. And hopefully you're no longer taking that. Okay. Uh, Yeah, Lloyd said the harder one exercises, the easier it is to get that 8+ hours of sleep. That is extremely true. What I tend to do sometimes in the evenings is I don't go overboard in the evenings, because you can pump yourself up with so much, cortisol. You're doing so much of a workout, it becomes harder to go to sleep. But I'll do less cardio and just more like slow. I like doing push-ups and pull-ups and things like that. I'll just do slow. Just do it slow. So I'm not getting my wind up, but I'm getting the muscles activated and tiring my muscles out. Uh-huh. Ah, man, this is a great question. Hambo04, just wondering about the damage pesticides are doing to us for non-organic foods. Uh, I forget the name of there was a specific pesticide that's heavily used in the United States that will literally change a frog's sex. Yeah. I forget what the name of it is, but basically, yeah. So the answer is yes. Pesticides are a problem. Basically, what is a pesticide doing? It's, I mean, obviously we're spraying poison onto food, which is an issue. But what is that poison in particular doing? A lot of times, it's messing with their sex hormones. The whatever insect or everything like that. It's like you're not just trying to affect that insect, but you're also trying to get that. Atrazine. Yes, atrazine is that particular pesticide. So if you have anything near you, if you're trying to, take care of your garden, take care of your lawn or whatever, do not use the atrazine. In fact, research before you spray anything on anything nowadays. Uh, what's going on, Herbert? All right. Windy City Sink, Chi Town. All right, in the house. All right. So let's keep going. Uh-huh. I'm going to be getting to tons of questions. Love it, guys. Love it. All right. My man. Tay beers? What is Tay beers? So I love doing this. Learn something new every day. Dev, what is that? Onion and ginger, watermelon, sea moss. That is that's all in my refrigerator right now. Um, I haven't eaten yet. I typically break my fast with sea moss, um, and I put onions and ginger into everything. uh, when I'm sautéing my food and things like that. Actually, I put that in my salads as well. All right. Uh huh. Try horny goat weed with maca. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let me see. Do I have my maca right here? Bizal. I got the maca right here, black seed oil, and of course my Goodwood Advanced. Oh, I haven't said it. Hey guys, for those who just joined us, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and this is Goodwood Office Hours. If you haven't done so, go ahead, subscribe, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Because this is what we do. We give out this exercise, all this information all the time. All right. Yep. Herbert coming through with some great advice. Avoid animals, processed foods, and sugars. That's the main erection killers. Yeah, I have no problem with that statement at all because it's right. What's a good site for herbal supplements? Let me give you one right now. Let me just go ahead and put that. Bam. Givegoodwood.com. The supplements that I talk about, the black maca, the ashwagandha, black seed oil, Haramparo macho, and Goodwood Advanced are all there. And you can use that coupon code to take 15% off because I want you to try it, guys. It's a big thing to get your supplementation game up. I would say from the age of 25 to 30, 35, maybe going on 40. I was taking what was then called African Flower, what is now called Goodwood. I was taking that, and that was allowing me to get past my bad habits. Okay, so my bad habits were taking me down. The supplementation was keeping me was keeping me up until you hit a certain age where that flips. So it's like you just can't take the supplements. That's the reason why we talk about you supplement the supplements with the things you do. So yeah, that's a site right there for you. Uh, of course, there's always that GNC. So here's the issue that I have with GNC, which is typically the products that they have in there are not herbal products. They're not capsules, they're not powders, they're not tinctures, they're pills. And a lot of times, this is for mass consumption. It is not for, I'm going to say it's not for. Typically, when you look at the different powders that they have, the different things it's all sweetness. It's all, we talked about, how sugar lowers your testosterone. They're all about selling stuff. It's not necessarily for, they have the men's section, they have the men's supplements, but typically those supplements are pills. And the thing about pills is pills are extremely cheap to make. I'm talking about 1 cent per pill. They can make 7,000 pills a day, if not more. That's one machine can make 7,000 pills a day. And actually, that's research I did like maybe 5 years ago. So I'm quite sure they can do way more than that. I mean, if you think about it, if you drive past a Rite Aid, a CVS, any pharmacies around the world, you're going to see hundreds of pills just because they're cheap. So why are you going to take something cheap and put it into your body? Uh-huh. Uh Hambo says, great insight. Hey, appreciate you, man. Uh-huh. Chicago showing some love. Uh, and also that question about that maca. Where you get the maca, it's right down there, givegoodwood.com. We got it right there for you. Talked with the owner of that particular company, found out where they got it sourced. They get a lot of this stuff in South America, but they do it right, and that's the important thing. Uh, mhm. J10H. So what you're saying, Unc, is that good habits and good supplements going together and will be unstoppable. Yes, absolutely. 100%. I'm telling you, going from a 5 to a 9. Woo, hoo, 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 feel like I'm 25 again. All right. When you said, can I get Yohimbe from GNC? I'm not sure. I don't shop at GNC. And I would be careful. So Goodwood does have Yohimbe in it. Um, and just want to go into really quick what Yohimbe is. It's a bark of a tree from from Africa. Grows grows throughout Africa. And basically, if you're taking this by itself, is very powerful. That's the reason why we have seven other herbs in Goodwood, and we have 8 other herbs in Goodwood Advanced. And that's because it's so powerful. If in some places they'll call it, they conflate your hembe with your hembean. Your hembe is the bark of the tree. The alkaloid in it, the technical term for what causes the great effects, is called your hembean. Unfortunately, they took that and they said, okay, your hembean and your hembe are the same thing. If you're getting your hembe in a pill, that's typically your hembean, because they've extracted your hembe, or they're manufacturing it. So they're trying to replicate what's there. And so that can be problematic. What can happen with, if you're taking your hembe straight or your hembean, especially if you're taking a pill, they'll talk about different issues. You get heart palpitations, your blood pressure will go up, you get shaky, all types of not good things, things that do not happen when you're taking Goodwood or Goodwood Advanced. So there we go. All right. So yeah, we running up on a half an hour here, guys. Once again, this is Brian, aka Uncle B. This is Goodwood University office hours. And yeah, we're here 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're here, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We do have Goodwood University. That's where we have, it's all the information I've been gathering, we put together in one spot. And we also have other guys in there who are encouraging each other to get better. So hop on in there. Uh-huh. Hmm. Yep. Wendy City says, I'm a 5 on the scale. I'm 45, 300 pounds, and I just started going to the gym yesterday. Any suggestions and recommendations? Keep going. That's literally it. I mean, once again, as I was talking about this whole subject to begin with, it's all about habits. The things that I'm doing now, I did not do back in the day, as I was backslidden, as they say in church. I was backslidden, all the way down the pews with a piece of pizza and some chicken nuggets. So I understand that battle right there. The thing to keep in mind is not to rush it. When I say not to rush it, I mean stay on course, get there, but always say you don't run away from crazy. So what got you to 300 pounds was a pattern. And that pattern's sort of crazy. And you don't want to just all of a sudden, I'm just gonna run away from this pattern, because it's like a crazy dog, it'll chase you. So what you want to do is just keep constantly getting better, and have that understanding that it's not going to happen all at once. There's going to be some days where it's like you're going backslid. Forgive yourself and keep going forward with the understanding that over a period of time, say you're 45, sir, you got another 45 years to go, maybe 50, maybe 60. So get used to the fact that you have to, keep doing what you're doing constantly. No need to stop. Never a time to stop. hmm Rod, I'm 56. All right. There you go. There you go. I hope you are doing well, sir. Uh in the house. I think we got you beat. We got a 57-year-old. I'm 52. We in that club, man. We in that club where you have to keep going. There is no, you know, let me not say there's not a day off, but you want to get yourself to a point where having a day off, people talk about cheat days. Let me just say this. I'm gonna wrap this up with this one saying for you guys out there. People talk about cheat days. The goal is to get to a point where you don't have a cheat day, that you don't understand what a cheat day is. They were asking this guy who's older guy, who's great, phenomenal shape. And it's like, oh my God, so what do you eat? He said, whatever I want. They're like, oh, you eat whatever you want? You eat like what, German chocolate cake? You eat some hamburgers? He's like, nah, I don't want that. I eat whatever I want. What he wants is just the good food, just the energy. That's the mindset that you need to get yourself into. All right. Uh Windy City says, I appreciate your channel. I appreciate you, sir. All right. That does it for us for today. Once again, if you haven't done so already, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe button. Of course, we do have givegoodwood.com. You can go there and check out to see what supplements will work for you. And also we have Goodwood University. We got you taken care of. So have a great weekend, gentlemen. Understand it is a weekend, but you still need to do everything correctly. Yeah, keep it going. I'm here to encourage you, because that encourages me too. I have to do what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I do it. I do it. I'm not perfect, but I'm not going to stop trying. So that's my message to you guys. So, all right. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. This is Uncle B saying, get your game up and go hard. Peace out.